It's the Great Canadian Podcast with Dave and Charlotte.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Charlotte.
Hello, David.
Welcome to the first edition of the Great Canadian Podcast.
Welcome.
What are you pointing at?
I want to see the fireplace.
Oh, right.
Just trying to mime. We'll have to get better miming skills. Or maybe some sort of paper and pen. We can just talk to each other.
We should just, eventually, when this gets picked up by all the big sponsors, we'll have computers we can just type back and forth to each other.
And in the meantime, it's more personable this way. You hear you know that we're human. Because otherwise we'd seem too perfect.
I think so.
So we have a fireplace going in the corner.
It's seasonal. It's festive.
Yeah, it's really festive.
And I gotta tell you, it's really warming the room up.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like it does.
To all the non-believers out there, I know that it probably doesn't, but I gotta tell you.
Try it.
Try it.
It's a placebo effect. I'm a scientist. I endorse this placebo effect. And you can hear the crackling. It just makes you warm.
The crackling is nice.
Doesn't it? And I hope that this one has a guy who stokes the fire and whatnot and puts logs on.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so we were doing a version of this podcast yesterday.
Yeah. And
then we had to take a break because of technical issues, which have since been resolved.
Yes.
Okay, quick high five.
Yeah.
You guys heard that? So here we are. We're back in fighting form.
Take two, as they say in the movie industry.
Take two.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the fireplace back. And yes, yesterday we had some. We assume it was a man. All we saw was his arm. Charlotte claims it was a man's arm.
Yeah, or a horrible. No, let's go man arm. That's a man arm.
So yeah, we don't know if this one's gonna get.
Yeah, it's a different video.
I gotta tell you, this one looks like a loop to me. This one looks like it's just gonna keep burning.
I really hope
perpetuity.
it's not. I really hope it's not. But then we can try to see the loop. Maybe it'll be less distracting. Because I kept on exclaiming aloud whenever the arm came in. Yeah,
you did.
And he would throw the logs on with reckless abandon, too. This man, I don't even know.
Yeah, when he'd change a log, like he would just...
He was not screwing around.
Right into the fire.
Just toss. It scared me.
I guess that's what one does.
Is it? I feel like I'm more careful. Isn't he afraid of setting his house on fire?
I think because we're used to a wood stove too,
Yeah,
right? So you can just kind of chuck it in there.
Yeah.
With a fireplace,
yeah,
you might want to exercise a little bit of caution.
Yeah.
But clearly, this disembodied arm knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because he knows enough about fire to post YouTube videos.
Right? Maybe we could be doing this right now. Maybe we're both pursuing the wrong careers.
Maybe we can comment on them. Like post one of those YouTube comment videos on the fireplace channel.
Yeah.
Is this an idea that's worth following up? I say yes.
Yeah, 100%. And great segue, Dave. If you want to comment on our podcast,
here it is.
Drop us an email at
greatcanadianpod@gmail.com.
Do it.
Do it. We're professionals. We got our stuff together. We're going to be on Twitter pretty soon.
Yes.
Why wouldn't we be,
Tweeting up a storm.
Tweeting up great Canadian things. Great things, Canadian things, and just things.
And we'll have such a unique perspective because it's basically cross-country. You got your Alberta. You got your Ontario.
Charlotte lives in Edmonton, Alberta.
It's true.
David lives in London, Ontario.
So we have no perspective for the Maritimes or for BC. Sorry, guys.
I have a friend who's from BC.
Let's bring them on the podcast.
I have a friend who lives in BC. What am I talking about? Hi, Amanda, if you're listening to this.
Mooner. Hi, Mooner. She better be listening. We just need someone out east now. We got no one.
Hey, if you guys are listening and you're out east, greatcanadianpod@gmail.com.
Yeah.
So, Charlotte, you're back.
I'm back.
How long are you back for?
It's going to be 3 weeks so it's only about 2 weeks.
Left.
A little under, yeah. So I got back last Tuesday on December 16th. Now you can date when we recorded this podcast.
So a week ago today.
A week ago today, yeah. Yeah, a week ago today, I was in the sky at this time.
Cool.
Flying over Canada.
Taking a look at that beautiful Canadian countryside.
Not actually, because it was cloud cover.
Right.
So I didn't see much of anything.
I kind of meant when you took off and when you landed. But
even when I landed, I saw almost nothing. Very cloudy. We have a new log, my friends.
We have a stoker.
This person has giant tongs, and they very carefully put that log of wood on there. This is a much more conscientious fire person than last time.
I like this one. And the lighting is a little better, too. It's a little bit more moody.
Yeah. You know what? I could see liking the... I think there's a time and a place for each of these. I hope that they come in with the poker and poke it every once in a while, just because I feel like that's what you do with a fire.
That's a good, it's a good cathartic thing to do. Is you just look at that fire. That fire needs some poking. You poke it.
You're doing nothing. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not doing anything productive.
But it feels like you're doing something.
It feels good. Yeah. So anyway, I flew in from beautiful snowy Edmonton.
Yeah. There's been snow on the ground there for some time.
Tons of snow. Yeah. I would say since Halloween probably.
Wow.
And which apparently is late for them.
That's later than I thought it would have been.
It did snow for the first time in like September. Like,
right.
I think just after Labor Day weekend or something like that. And everyone was like, well, Charlotte, are you going to die? Because I'll tell you this. If you're from Ontario and you move out to Alberta, people are... I don't know how much we're going to swear on this podcast, but people are... And
we'll try and keep it PG, but if people are...
we can bleep it out.
Yeah.
So, and I find the worst offenders of this are people who moved from Ontario to Alberta, who then go, oh, Charlotte, do you think your winter coat's going to be thick enough for the Edmonton winter? You think you're going to die? Or like, I show up to school when it's minus 30. Oh, I'm supposed to see you here today. I didn't think you'd make it in.
They think that there's some sort of initiation that they need to run through now.
It honestly drives me up the wall. And
Charlotte, you're usually very calm and collected. There's not a lot that drives you up the wall.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing. People know that maybe they're trying to rile me up. I don't know, but I don't think it's funny. And, and I've had a few people who go, it's okay. You're going to be fine. Because I complain about this. And a couple people have said, no, you'll be fine. And, my winter coat, which I purchased in Ontario a few years ago, has been great. Definitely do not need a new winter coat. Maybe if in the minus 40, if I was going to be walking around a lot, I would get better mittens, because right now they're just knit mittens, and if it's windy, it gets through the mitts. So maybe some actual like snow waterproof kind of.
You're running around in knit mittens, good lord.
I know, right?
Yeah.
See, in Ontario, you couldn't do that.
You couldn't do it.
Because it's wet. People will say this to you. It's very true. It's a dry cold in Edmonton.
It's a dry cold.
And it's a dry. So you get cold. You walk to school. It's minus 30.
Right.
You walk into the warm building. Warm.
You're warm.
Honestly, within 20 seconds, you forget that you were even outside 20 seconds ago.
Yeah.
In Ontario, you wait for that bus. I remember it was minus 20 out last winter. Freezing my bum off, waiting for that damn bus. So cold, and I was cold for like the whole day at school until I finally got home and had a bath.
So you're all damp.
It's in your bones.
Yeah.
So honestly, and Edmonton, such a sunny city. Actually, Dave and I today were in the mall this afternoon. Bumped into a guy who used to live in Edmonton.
Yes.
And he cited he said, 320 days a year. So I guess it's known. Edmonton must be known for being sunny. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
And the Ontarians who moved there, I bet they didn't tell you that.
They did not. I just was going to yell, but I remember Dave said, don't yell into the mic, Charlotte, so I'm trying not to yell.
No, you can yell. You got to do it like that. It sounds really hilarious when you listen back. When you yell!
The thing is, I get riled up, and sometimes I can't feel it coming. That time I reined it in.
Right.
But, they don't tell you all the nice things, but Edmonton's beautiful. If you like big blue sunny skies, move to Edmonton. Get a good winter coat.
These people who are jostling you about your winter coat also seem like the types who wouldn't like big blue sunny skies.
Right? That's what they are. It's the... Anyway, honestly really like Edmonton. When I had to fly back, and probably this is because I have friends there, and my poor kitty, Isabel, is still there.
Hey, Isabel.
Hi, Isabel. Hi, Aaron and Jeff, who are looking after Isabel. Poor Izzy. Anyway, when I left, I was sad. I think because I was leaving friends, I was leaving Izzy, and then I was leaving Edmonton. And part of me cannot wait to get back. I mean, I'm obviously going to be very sad to leave Ontario because everyone I love is here. But it's nice to have a home there, and I cannot wait to get back to Edmonton. I miss my street. I miss White Ave. If you ever been to Edmonton, you know White Ave. I miss White Ave.
Our house in the middle of our street. I get it. A home away from home. That's cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is nice.
It's nice to feel that way, I think.
Yeah.
And how's life been with you, Davo?
Life. All right, so I'll tell you what. I'm going to say this again. Life is good.
Yeah?
I'm very relieved that my that my setup has So every podcast isn't going to sound like this, unfortunately, because we're usually doing them over, as we said, long distances, right? So we got our cool little headphones and we talk to each other that way.
Yeah.
But today we're doing it in Dave's home studio.
Yeah, in person.
Which recently suffered a hit. So this has been my success story of the last 2 weeks. I was running a Macintosh computer. I'm a big fan of Apple products. I like them. I think that they work very well. I think they're robust. Charlotte feels...
This podcast has disparate feelings about Macintosh products.
Very disparate. Is it disparate or disparate?
I don't know. Maybe either.
Disparate sounds more correct.
Maybe that's how Albertans say it, and I'm getting an Alberta accent. Not to change something, everyone in Alberta says I have an accent, an Ontario accent.
Really?
Yeah.
What words do they pick on you for?
Car.
Cur?
Car. Easily car. That's the one that everybody gets me on.
Is it because you say it like cur? Or?
Yeah. They go, so I have to practice. Car.
Oh.
What are we, British?
I would have thought there would have been more cur out there.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, forget those guys.
So, my lovely Macintosh computer that I bought back in 2006, the old boy, finally decided to kick the bucket, right? No surprises there. So I went
That's an impressive run. 2006?
That's an impressive run.
That's a good run.
You don't see that from computers these days, I don't think.
Especially on a Macintosh.
Oh.
Okay. No, it's true. Any computer. If I had a PC from that time, I would be very proud.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I go and get a new one. And I'm also a musician who performs, records, blah, blah, blah. And like I've been saying, I have a recording setup on my computer. And I use a certain program, which will remain nameless. Ripping off Bill Burr here for all the people who listen to his podcast. I just think that's a funny thing to do. I wanted to bring it from the old Mac to the new one, but I couldn't because it was incompatible. So I had to buy it again new. Brand new computer, brand new recording program. Could not get it to install on the Mac. This was a problem.
And that's got to be a lot of dollars, too. Between the two,
it's significant. Yes, yeah. Macs, as we all Apple products are expensive.
Yeah,
and yeah, I'm not saying just because I like Apple, I don't have my beefs. How about you stop introducing new operating systems every year, or software updates for everything every month, week. Techies in the crowd will probably scoff at my troubles here, but I'm not a very techie type guy.
And here I beg to differ. I think you're very techie.
Maybe out of necessity.
You have a degree. What's the name of your degree? In music industry arts.
Recording engineering, technically.
Right?
Yeah. I know some stuff, I guess.
You know stuff.
But still, it took a fair amount of internet sleuthing. And eventually, to get this program onto the computer, I literally had to rewrite one of my administrator system files to trick the program into thinking I was running an older version of the operating system to get it on there. Now, this is all kind of circumstantial because Apple just released Yosemite back in the fall, and obviously Apple and the company that makes this recording software are two different companies, and they can't always be coordinated, right? So I get it. But it just, you know what I mean? Brand new computer, brand new software, you think it's going to work.
Yeah.
So it was just a pain. And then when I thought I had it all worked out, we were doing the podcast yesterday, it cuts out.
Tells this story and says, there's a poker. We got a poker in the fire.
We have to take a poker break. Nice. Okay, so
it was a quick poker, and we didn't see their arm, unlike the other guy. This is a much more professional. And look at how nice that fire looks now.
And he doesn't even have so much ego that he feels the need to watermark his video.
Yeah. You know what? We're gonna have to put the link to this video below our video
on the Great Canadian Pod.
Yeah,
but below the video. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you can go see this. Check it out yourself. We should tell you when to. Well, we can. We started it right before we started pressing record on this video. So go to like the 9-second mark or something like that.
Well, and I think I'm going to sync up the sound so our listeners can at least have some crackle, some of that holiday crackle. So where was I, Charlotte?
I was telling the story that you told this story in our
right.
take one of this podcast.
We got through about 15 minutes.
We said on the other side, yeah, Dave, and we came out on the other side. You persevered, you triumphed, and probably 5 minutes later, we're out. And we went,
And I was very distraught.
Yeah, he was not happy. Not a happy camper, guys.
Luckily, I replaced a cable that I'd been using since 2007. And now it's working perfectly, which was lucky because if it was not the cable, I would have been several steps back. So that's Charlotte's back from Edmonton.
Yep.
hating on the emigrants from
Yeah.
Ontario.
Yeah.
Do people say emigrants, like with an E?
They should if they don't.
Is that like a word? I guess it would be, right?
It's like
Why
people
wouldn't
say
it be?
expats, and I've never understood that.
Well, it's like if you are an American who like lives in like Taiwan, you'd be an American expat.
But could you be an expat Ontario that lives in?
I think technically
Alberta.
no, because you're still in the same nation, but
Yeah.
we can appropriate
Yeah,
that
that's
for
what
that
happened.
use. Yeah.
And
David's computer story, yeah,
yeah. And Charlotte's bitter that there's no snow in this province.
which David is fine with, but I guess that's spoken like a true Ontarian.
I spent the first probably 4 months in Alberta talking about Ontario. A couple people started calling me
Right.
Ontario because I loved Ontario so much and I missed Ontario so much and just thought it was a better province. Sorry, Alberta. I don't think that anymore. But I did all kinds of smack talk about how much I miss my province. And then I got off the plane and I looked around and went, what the hell is this? Where's all the snow? And all I hear from people in London are, oh, we're really happy. But I don't blame you guys, because here's what I think it is. I think as Canadians, we love the summertime. Obviously, everyone loves the summertime,
Right. It's got cachet.
right?
Yeah.
Fall comes, it's good. You got some changing of the leaves. It's romantic. People get all up in a huff about the pumpkin
People
spice,
love
whatever.
them some fall. Fall is a very turbulent time
Yeah.
for emotions.
Yeah. Yep. I think some people get too. Anyway, we can talk about that
We
later.
should have a fall episode.
Yeah.
Maybe next fall.
Or this is kind of a fall recap time. Maybe our next one we can recap the fall.
Yeah, we can do that. Recap the fall if you remember enough of it.
Oh, I do. I mean, I remember wanting to kill everyone with the pumpkin spice. So anyway, then the first snow comes and you go, oh, God, because it's cold. You got to brush off your car. No one likes brushing off their car. And I mean, you got to get your winter tires out. You know, you're scraping it off now every time you want to drive it.
Yep.
You can't walk. Now you have to walk. I like to strut my way to school with my iPod in. Now you can't strut because you're going to slip on the snow. You have to walk at a reasonable pace.
Charlotte is a well-known strutter,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
She likes a good strut.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why you'd walk any other way, basically. But, and so I understand the disgruntlement. And then if you haven't had a lot of snow, like Ontario has not had a whole lot of snow.
No, not this season.
Then I get being happy that it's not here. But trust me, if you'd have been in Alberta and you'd had 2 months of snow, you too would be upset that there's no snow here because you get used to it and then you miss it when it's not here, especially at Christmas.
I get it.
Like a green Christmas. What the heck?
It's not too late, Charlotte. We got about a little over 24 hours.
And everyone that knows me, maybe not everyone that knows me, actually, but those that know me well, know that I believe I can control the weather, and I am bringing us snow. I heard it's supposed to be plus 10 tomorrow,
Oh, jeez.
and plus 2 on Christmas Day,
You got your work cut out for you, Charlotte.
and that leaves room for a little bit of snow. I only have to bring it down by 2 degrees.
I'm not
and
sure
get
your
some
math
precipitation.
is completely correct there, Charlotte.
From the 2. Oh, see, this is the thing. I yell into the mic.
She's got to work on that. From the 2. You just got to do a little head turn. It's like you're spitting at the dentist. And spit. Like
Can't.
that.
You know what? It pops out, though. It's not like I'm trying to be loud. Not like I see it. It just kind of comes.
Well, Charlotte, you're not a trained
Yeah,
professional
that's
like
true.
I am. Hello, viewers. Here's the latest track from...
And I'm also an overly loud individual.
No.
I should just direct all of my comments out into the room.
You should anticipate
Someone
things
who
are going
works
to get loud. I should.
Someone who works at a desk, probably, I don't know, around a couple corners from me, the one day came back and said, "Hey, I knew you were here. And I'm like, how'd you know I was here?" He's like, "I heard you." How could you possibly have heard me? Like, I think you're a lot louder than you think you are. Yeah, I must be. And then as he walked away, I'm like, "Guys, I'm not that loud, am I?" And he goes, "I heard that down the hallway." I'm like, "Okay, I guess I am pretty loud."
So there's something that I'd like to hear right now.
Yeah.
We don't have any sponsors yet. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, potential sponsors. Great Canadian Pod, POD at gmail.com. We are going to hear a word from our lovely voiceover woman and her unique selection of hot jazz.
And there's the poker.
You're listening to Dave and Charlotte's Great Canadian Podcast.
Yes, you are. And we're back. Jiving at the groovy jazz beats.
Welcome back to the Great Canadian Pod.
The Great Canadian Pod with Dave and Charlotte. Great Canadian Pod, gmail.com. comments, suggestions. Well, not suggestions. We don't want to hear how we could be better. We're
We don't give a Oh, I'll have to bleep that in for sure.
that one out.
Yeah. New log. We got a new log. If your comment is, please stop telling us about the fireplace channel, why don't you shut up? Go listen to something else. I think this is interesting.
That makes...
They hate us. They hate me.
I hear that the secret to a good podcast is to berate your audience.
Yeah. Honestly, if you can't appreciate watching the fireplace channel, I don't even know what to do with
There's
you.
something wrong with it. It was on while I was playing a gig at a bar a few weeks ago.
Shut the front door.
And I got it was a mixed blessing because it made me feel nice. It made me feel so nice, in fact, that I didn't want to be working.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
right?
go home and watch the fireplace channel with a nice glass of scotch, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you drink scotch?
Occasionally. Occasionally.
I judge scotch now because I once met an NHL player at a friend's house.
Really?
Yep. And he, first of all, told me I was wasting my life by doing research, which was nice of him.
He sounds like a nice
You're
guy.
a freaking professional athlete. What are you contributing to the world? No offense, professional athletes, but
I think it's
a little rich coming from him.
I was about to say.
Like, I mean, and then I remember it being at least 20 minutes, waxed on about the kinds of scotch. He gave us his top 10 ranking of his favorite scotches and went on about the smokiness of this one and how this one was like a campfire, and I thought I was gonna die.
You should have made up some factoid about how, scotch is bad for the hemonobule.
yeah, the hemonobule.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly thought he was kidding for the first half of it and kept on laughing and looking around, and then realized it was all serious. And
Oh, gosh.
then I was kind of in disbelief. And then I just wanted to watch and see how long he'd go for. Quite some time, as it turned out. He was into it. So, we've got a conversation. Dave, tell us about yourself.
Right.
This
Okay,
is
so this is the first podcast. You probably want to know a little bit about your
Yeah.
your respective yours trulies.
And let's delve into Dave. What's Dave like?
Well,
what makes Dave tick?
There's really not a lot there.
Nah,
What you
we're
see,
already done.
What you see is what you get. So I am a musician. That's how I officially identify my job title. I play gigs. I play as part of a touring rock band. I teach guitar lessons. I play the guitar, obviously. I write songs and release them. You can find them in places. We'll give you more info on that in episodes to come. Well, if you type my name in iTunes, but you don't know my last name, suckers. You're just going to have to do some sleuthing.
We're very mysterious
Who's
here on
this?
the Dave and Char podcast.
Who's the sucker, them or me, that's missing out on some potential album sales? Yeah, I think it's me.
No, leave them. People want what they can't have.
Right.
Let them wonder.
And I also I have my foot in the door of the radio world, as it were, booming world that it is. I also do some radio production work, and I live in London, Ontario. I'm 6'1".
Are you really?
I'm 6'1".
Get out.
You thought I was taller, shorter?
I mean, I guess if I were to guess, I don't even know what I would guess. That's very tall. You're a very tall person.
Well, my hair is brown and of a thick consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah. And right now, I've just finished, as we go into the new year, putting together a new band, putting together a new website, which I did it using one of those do-it-yourself sort of thingies.
Looks sweet though.
Which turns out to be a great decision. Like, this websites will just cost you so much money, like whoever you ask, which is, it's fine. They're setting their value as professionals. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But this is just a way cheaper, way easier way to do it. And luckily I also have a friend who takes sweet pictures who did so for a very good price.
Nice one.
So that,
Can you tell us about your band? What kind of music is it? This new band that you got?
the new band is, it's what every band is doing these days, isn't it? It's a funky pop soul sort of a thing.
Is that what every band's doing?
I feel like, neo soul's been like, I think it's finally on the way up. Like, it kind of started with like Amy Winehouse, continued with Adele, and you've still got guys like all the big singers these days, right? Like, you had like Avicii's album, like Aloe Black sang on that. I guess that guy was a bluegrass singer who sang on Hey Brother. But I feel like it's kind of on the way out, and now we're in like EDM world. But yeah, anyways, it's cool. It's fun music. It's funky. It's upbeat. It's kind of what I do. It's a little jazzy. It's got
Love the funk.
It's it's fun. And the touring group that I play with is actually a Paul McCartney tribute band,
Which is also pretty sweet.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you guys like the Beatles or Wings,
And who doesn't like the Beatles or Wings?
like seriously, I mean, Wings is like a fun band to
Yeah.
make jokes about. Like
Do people make jokes about them?
they're just one of those bands. They're kind of like Grand Funk Railroad. Like it's just a fun band name to say,
Ah,
you know?
I didn't know Grand Funk Railroad.
Maybe that's just my opinion.
Yeah, maybe, music people are probably
Nodding, or they're just like, this guy's doesn't know what he's
I'm
talking
being the
about.
idiot on this. I'm the everyman on this podcast
Right.
for music. I don't know Grand Funk Railroad.
But Charlie, you're a very prolific music listener. Yeah.
I do like music,
You know
but
what you
a
like.
lot of top 40. What do you think, Dave, of top 40 snobs that hate the top 40 and roll their eyes at the top 40?
Well, you're, I mean, whatever, right? Like, you're certainly entitled to like what you like. If you don't like it just because it's top 40, I think, there's some self-examination to be done there.
Yeah.
Because, like, why? There's just some,
Yeah.
like, basically, top 40 is designed to be ear candy.
Right?
And, I mean, it's meant to be enjoyed. You can find something to enjoy about it.
Yeah.
My most recent jam, I know this is old, Katy Perry's Roar did things to me. Like, it just made me feel good all over.
Yeah.
What's it?
Katy Perry can write a song.
Well, I think Katy Perry's people can write
No,
songs.
I think oh man, this is gonna be a terrible story to say, but she wrote some really good song, and I didn't realize that she had written it, but someone else recorded it. Like, she writes songs.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised. She's got a great voice. I think she's one of the best singers out there right now. She's really powerful.
I'm gonna try to think of it. Maybe we'll look it up between this part of the podcast and the next part, and we can tell you.
We can do that
But I think Katy Perry, I feel like she's talented.
when we take a break to hear from our sponsors. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what kind of cinched it for me? I mean, obviously she's got a big, powerful voice and whatever, but I was hanging out with a friend who put on, I don't know how many John Mayer albums ago this was, the one where he did the duet with Katy Perry when him and her were like dating.
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
it was. And she came on, and there was something familiar about the voice. I didn't know it was Katy Perry because we were just listening to the album. I was like, who is this? Wait, don't tell me. I know this. I was like, that's Katy Perry. And she just, it was in a setting, like a John Mayer setting. So it was a little bit more down tempo than you're used to, right? And she killed it. I think she's super talented.
Yeah.
Who's in the top 40, Charlotte? What's doing it for you right now?
I mean, to me, Taylor Swift can do no wrong.
Right.
Or at least has done no wrong. That girl, I mean, I'm probably too old to relate to her albums as closely as I do, but I'm right there with her. Even when she sang that 22 song. Other than the fact that I was not 22. And I went through a huge blank space phase.
Oh, yeah?
And Out of the Woods, I started singing that for some reason today when we were in the mall.
I recall.
And just could not stop. Just because I think that she writes lyrics that are very fun to sing along to. And in general, very relatable.
Again, not to be a downer, I think we have some of her people to thank for that. But Taylor certainly, and especially in her early career,
She's involved in
did
the
a lot of
songwriting,
it.
though,
Yeah.
isn't she? I mean, I don't keep track of this stuff. But
Well, and again, I don't follow this too closely or anything like that. But I think early in her career, she definitely did, and
and those are great songs too.
yeah.
Some very life sort of, sometimes at a phase of my life, I need a song to get me through, and I listen to that song over and over, and it becomes associated, and sometimes they've evoked big life changes out of me.
Absolutely.
Certain songs. And Taylor Swift has been there for a few life moments.
Good on you, Taylor.
Right?
Well, that's something we can all kind of identify with too,
Yeah.
right? Songs, times of transitional phases maybe in life,
Yeah.
something like that.
Love for Taylor Swift. Maybe that's not something we can all agree with.
Taylor Swift, Katy Perry. Clearly, this is going to be a popular.
Yeah. I also am just getting on the Ed Sheeran train.
Okay.
I'm really late on it. And his song, now I can't think of the name of it.
Love Me Something?
No, Thinking Out Loud.
Thinking Out Loud.
Thinking Out Loud. First time I heard that, it came on a Songs of playlist, and I died of happiness. And that is a song I would like to slow dance to one day with some gentleman. It's a nice song. It's a nice song. And then I got on the Ed Sheeran train and I found a whole bunch more songs that he does that I love. And
Yeah.
he's sweet.
Ed's good stuff.
Right?
Ed's good stuff.
And good friends with Taylor Swift in real life, which I
Really?
know because of BuzzFeed. And I'm sure this will come up many times in the podcast. I am obsessed with BuzzFeed. Not even obsessed. Actually, obsessed is the wrong word. BuzzFeed is part of my life. It's just something that I do every day is go on BuzzFeed.
Fair enough. I have a website like that.
Right?
Crack.com. It's what makes me such like a a cynical dude
Oh.
sometimes.
You should get on BuzzFeed. There's some happy stuff on there.
No, yeah. No, I just like it because it's funny sometimes.
Yeah.
Charlotte,
Yeah.
we've talked about David.
Yeah.
What's
We're
going
all
on?
sick of David.
What's going on in your life? Yeah, we don't want to hear about me.
Well, I'm a postdoctoral fellow, which I realized
Which is a
recently.
sweet title. Sorry to interrupt, but for those of us who don't know what that means, myself included,
Nobody knows.
Ever since you became one, you've had that automatic tag thing with emails happening, which shows that
Oh my god, I hate that.
that you've ascended in the world.
I hate that tag.
So it was postdoctoral fellow?
Yeah, postdoctoral fellow. That means that you have your PhD, but you're not a professor. So in a lot of disciplines, but not all of them, after you finish your PhD, but before you can get a professor position, you have to distinguish yourself from your PhD supervisor by doing a postdoc.
Okay.
Postdoc makes sense. And then
I think I got it.
yeah. And then that means you're a postdoctoral fellow. And the idea is you kind of do your own research / another supervisor's research. You're supposed to learn another area / learn new techniques / publish a lot / be a workhorse, basically.
Okay. I like
You're
that.
sort of a crappily paid, especially for the amount of education that you have.
Right.
Workhorse. So you don't take any classes, unlike a PhD.
You take class in PhD?
Yeah.
No kidding.
And there's lots of different PhDs. Some are more course heavy than others, but yeah.
And you sit in like lecture halls, take notes, do exams, all that good stuff?
No. Very few exams, if any. I mean, there's some, but, and again, was in sort of science. I was in the School of Kinesiology, but it was more of a sciencey sort of thing. I know some people have to do exams, so I don't want to say no PhDs have to write exams and have some people be better, but yeah, I didn't have to write, maybe a couple, but yeah, not too many.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's kind of the good life. And especially in the last 2 years of your PhD, I didn't have to take any classes. They were all done in my first year.
Right.
That makes it sound like my PhD was 3 years. It was a bit longer than that. So now
The good life. I always suspected that about you grad students.
Yeah, oh, for sure. If any grad student tells you otherwise, they're lying.
All right.
Unless they're in their last year. That's a hell year.
Okay.
Because then you realize, oh my God, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
But the beginning, I mean, it's just, you wear sweatpants to school. You party with your friends all day. Maybe that's my experience in kin, because kin people are sweet.
Right.
I suspect that. But, and I had an amazing lab in my PhD too, so I'm a little bit spoiled. So my research interest in my PhD was about sex hormones and the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight nervous system.
Okay.
And that controls your heart and your blood vessels and your cardiovascular health.
This is important stuff.
Yeah. If you have high blood pressure, you probably have a problem with your sympathetic, or not probably, I take that back. Any person in my area is like, God, Charlotte, you're so stupid.
Quit oversimplifying.
Yeah. But anyway, so I look at cardiovascular, things that might cause cardiovascular disease, for instance, or if they go wrong, they may cause cardiovascular disease.
That's big business these days, Charlotte.
Yeah. So right now I'm looking at pregnancy and the hypertensive disorders of pregnancy. And in future, I hope to look at polycystic ovary syndrome.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah. And affects 1 in 10 women. 6 to 10%. How about that?
Is it a pretty serious thing?
Well, it's, in a clinical level, associated with infertility, obesity, metabolic syndrome, so hypertension. Let me tell you this. Do average people know what hypertension means?
If I'm average,
Yeah?
no.
Okay. High blood pressure.
Oh, see, I would have assumed it was something to do with like your joints or your muscles
No,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Let me tell you this, because I don't mean to be a dick when I say that. I've been doing, undergrad, I started, oh God, these years are going to be embarrassing. Started undergrad in 2003, started grad school in 2007. So I've been specializing heavily in the cardiovascular system for over a decade. For God's sakes, when did I get so old?
What year is it right now?
Oh God, let's not say. Maybe people will forget.
And it's about to be
Yeah. Oh my God.
2015. When did? Okay, we're officially
Please.
moving into like the future. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I know people have been saying this ever since 2000s, but like 2017. That's the year you pull out when you're talking about the future.
Yeah.
2015 could as well be that year. We're living
there.
it, people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue. Little
I
tangent.
was just gonna say that you start saying these things like sympathetic nervous system and hypertension, and to the point that that's pretty basic for me now, and you
Right.
forget that other people don't know that. Like, you honestly forget. Like, you're not trying to be a jerk and you're not trying to talk over their heads.
I get it. You think
really
you're
do
better
forget.
than me. Like,
That's it.
I get what you're saying.
That's it. Yeah. There are words like ventromedial prefrontal cortex that I don't expect people to understand or know what that is. Not that they can't understand it, but they don't need to know what it is right off the bat.
Right.
But you legit forget about some things like that.
I subscribe heavily to that. If I don't need to know what it is,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me the relevant info, doc.
And I will say, today, not that I was eavesdropping, a music friend called Dave, and he was talking to that friend, and all I heard was, blah, 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 some musical equivalent of ventromedial prefrontal cortex hypertension. And I was just like, I do not know. I know they're speaking English. Something about, can you bring the doohickey
Right.
for our whatchamajigger?
Right. It's a little funny that it didn't sound like English, because that same gentleman is Polish, and he later last night...
It wasn't English.
Later that night, and by the way, sorry for the peak there, guys. That was Charlotte. Wasn't.
Damn it. And I even leaned forward, I think.
You
so
did.
I was excited.
You leaned into
I'm
it.
an idiot.
He took a call last night, and it took me listening to like 3-4 sentences of it before I realized that he was speaking Polish, presumably to someone else who was speaking Polish. You know what the funniest thing is? One of my best friends when I was growing up had parents that were, his dad was Swiss, his mom was German, and they would speak to him in those languages, as immigrant parents tend to do, which I think is cool. You know, you learn 2 languages, sweet.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing was they would speak to him in German and he would yell back in English.
Nice.
So it'd be like, let's say his name was Greg, right? They'd be like, Greg, that's a good foreign name. Let's say his name was Hans. His name was Hans. They'd be like, Hans, darf du gut laufen? Sorry, that's my German impression. They'd be like,
really
yeah, Mom, I got it. God. Oh, it was so funny.
Hans.
Fond memories.
He's a good guy.
times
I know you're talking when he's a good guy.
with Greg Hans.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a 2 seconds so you can hear this our lovely announcer, which I took just so much time putting together. Here we go.
You're listening to Dave and Charlotte's Great Canadian Podcast.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And now we have a discussion planned.
Yeah. We plan things.
Yeah, we're taking the chance that, like, when someone says let's talk, let's have a conversation. Obviously, you can never think of anything to talk about. Charlotte and I are going against that.
Yeah.
We're planning what to talk about, and we're going to talk about it. And what are we going to talk about, Charlotte?
We're going to talk about Christmas, Dave.
Christmas. Why not?
You had to see that coming with the fireplace logs and whatever.
Yeah, and the time of year,
Yeah. If you didn't,
and the joy and merriment in our voices.
Yeah, we sound happy. And we love Christmas.
We love Christmas. We're big fans of Christmas. here.
Yeah. I think that in our family, Christmas is a very happy time of year.
Happy time of
As
year.
opposed to all the other families out there.
Right.
That hate
You
Christmas.
guys all hate it. None of you are like us. Anyways, like, whatever you're celebrating this season.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? I hope
Happy holidays.
whatever it is, you're having a great time. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our tradition, which is Christmas. Hey, first thing on the list, let's talk about the music.
Oh, God. Let's go. I think that if we were to both list one album that represents our family's Christmas tradition, it would easily be the exact same album.
Easily be the exact same.
I mean, there's no chance someone else would even. There would be another album.
I don't think so. It's Christmas Party. Christmas Party.
Boney M.
Boney M.
God.
The Sensations.
You know what? I feel like as I grew up, met more and more people who had Boney M Christmases in their house.
Really? I don't think I met anyone.
Yeah. Amanda. I can say I was going to say her last name too, but who used to be my old lab.
Ah, right.
She, her family's a Boney M. Christmas. I know that's only one person, but still.
That's one.
She felt it. Sorry, stretch it away there.
And I just showed Charlotte my current favorite Christmas song.
Yeah.
Which I'll give him a plug and Charlotte, Doug, yes?
Yeah.
100%?
Oh yeah.
All right.
1,000%.
Nice. This is my my current favorite. Like, I've described them as just being pure joy. They're a group called Wolfpack. Like Wolfpack, if you were to say it with a Wolfpack, like kind of like a Slavic accent, maybe something like that.
We should put a link to their website /
Sure.
under this.
I wonder if that would be some sort of infringement or if they'd like that.
Can't be. They'd love that.
It's called Christmas in LA. It's by Wolfpack. It's like the funnest thing ever. Dogs dance in the video.
It's honestly amazing. Yeah. And I mean, I love funk, but this is...
Cheryl and Dave are big fans of the funk.
Yeah.
Let's just put that out there.
But who's not? I think if you say you're not, you're lying.
You know that there was actually a study done? This could be a complete, like making this up.
Go for it.
But apparently people who play funk music among musicians, or maybe it was among music listeners, but people who either listen to funk music or play it, are among like the happiest people. Yeah.
Well, it's because funk's the happiest music.
Funk, I gotta say, it's just pure joy.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm into this. I think we can heartily recommend this band.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Boney M, very funky Christmas album. We have some more.
We have a poker.
We have poker usage. We understand that is kind of a double entendre. We just save your emails, whatever. This is a wholesome podcast for the most part.
Yeah, get your heads out of the gutter, guys.
To be fair, that was my head in the gutter.
Yeah. Well, you were anticipating their heads being in the gutter. It's their fault.
Do you have any new Christmas songs that are doing it for you this year, Charlotte?
Honestly, no. And this is kind of sad, but I think being away from home in Alberta with no Christmas decorations up in my apartment. I don't drive my car a lot, which is where I used to listen to all my Christmas music.
That's fair.
And I just think I kept on trying to get all this work done and before I left and sort of started Christmas that I didn't want. I listened to Christmas music a few times, like on songs, but I sadly have no recommendations, new recommendations. But I will say, if for some reason you've never heard Josh Groban's "Oh Holy Night," you give that a listen. Because I get goosebumps, and I have cried during that song before when he hits that note at the end. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The man can sing. That Josh Groban.
And if you want a ridiculous recommendation, but a song I care deeply about, and I don't care how many people email me and say this is ridiculous, Celine Dion singing Feliz Navidad with her family. That's
an awesome track.
I think you just can't be upset listening to that.
It's so, it's incredible. Like, you wish you could be part of that family.
Yes. Because it's her and her family. She has a very musical family. She's the youngest of 13.
Yeah.
And at one point in the song, she exclaims aloud, "We're just getting hot!" How did I also directed that away from the mic?
Yeah, no, I noticed that. That was good. I like how you added kind of her Quebecois. We are just getting hot.
Because I always sing along to that part.
Right.
We're just getting hot. I love it.
Food. Christmas food.
Yeah. I mean, I think just turkey.
Turkey is
our big turkey dinner.
We have a big turkey dinner Christmas Eve.
Mom's dip.
The dip.
Yeah.
I think everyone's mom, for the most part, makes this dip.
Yeah.
It's your standard sort of cream cheese, sour cream, more cheese.
Some people call it the 7-layer dip, but ours doesn't have 7 layers.
Oh, is that what 7-layer dip is commonly referred to as?
Yeah, because some people put like guacamole and beans. We don't have those in ours.
I could see that being good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But different. This is simplistic.
The dip, coffee with Baileys. Let's be honest, that's always a wonderful time.
I think as you get older, the Christmases get boozier.
Absolutely.
There's less and less presents and more booze, and I am perfectly fine with that.
I'm fine with leaning into that schedule.
Yeah.
You save money and you booze it up a little
right?
bit. Right.
And I mean, as you get older, it's not as because you buy the things that you want throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then you get poor. Why are we getting more poor as we get older? It seems backwards. It's definitely happening. Don't go into research if you want money.
Or music.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We got a brother who's doing it right.
Yeah,
Jasper,
yeah. He has money.
I'm gonna be hitting you up in a couple of years.
Yeah. Poor Jeff.
For a place to live.
Food. Let me interject with tree, because we always had a fake tree.
Always had a fake tree.
I actually didn't realize until I was at an age to remember, that people had real trees. And I was so confused as to what they were doing in the house. How did you even get it in here? Do you have to water it? And they do.
Hmm?
I didn't think it was a thing.
And they shed, they lose their needles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mom and Dad always said we have a fake tree once I started asking, because we have a fireplace. It would have dried out the tree, made it a fire hazard.
Sure.
But since then, a lot of people have said, well, I have a fire. And people who have real trees are very judgy of people who have fake trees, I find. You
so
have a
we're back.
fake tree? What? But the smell. I mean, I guess.
That's supposed to be the big thing, right? Is the smell of the real tree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fine. I mean, maybe because we have fake trees, we just don't get it. But I like our tree. It's nice.
I like our tree too. I like the fake ones. You know what I mean? I'm all about practicality.
Right?
You can tear that thing down, put it in a box, bring it out next year. That doesn't feel cold to me. That feels efficient.
Yeah.
You know what feels cold is spending all that extra time on the tree when you're just going to toss the thing
it
out.
in and kill it.
I'm just rationalizing our use of a fake tree. If you have a real tree, good on you.
Yeah.
But just don't
be mean to the people with the fake trees.
don't look down on the people with the fake trees.
We don't know what we're happy. We're like happy in our ignorance. Just leave us be.
That's right.
We're not hurting anyone.
No.
We're especially not hurting the trees.
Memories? We're looking at the list and we don't know what to move on.
Yeah, were we thinking of something specific with memories?
Did I put that or did you put that on the
How
list?
about here's a Christmas memory. I once made it snow. It was a green Christmas. All year long, everyone was, not all year long, but a few days leading up to Christmas, everyone says it's going to be a green Christmas. And I said...
I know for one, back in June, I was like, it's going to be a green Christmas this year.
Whatever year it was, remember, it was quite, I think maybe we were in high school. Or I was in high school. I don't know. It was quite a while ago. And we should bring Dad on the pod. Dad, remember this.
Okay.
Because he actually brought it up to me. He called me the other day and said, and I was still in Edmonton, he said, we need you back here because it's looking like a green Christmas and we need you to make it snow. So don't worry, Dad, I'm on it.
Oh, jeez.
And so...
he's buying into the myth.
Because, no, it's not a myth. It's true. Because all along, through the power of positive thought, I said, guys, it's not going to be a green Christmas. It can't be a green Christmas. It's going to snow. And everyone was like, no, no, no. I'm like, yes. And actually, the pond froze beautifully that year because there was no snow. So that was really nice because it was cold enough. It just wasn't snowing.
There's a pond at our parents' house we skate on.
Yep. Good backstory.
Thank you.
And we went to bed that night and I said, well, it's going to snow. So how about? And Dad said, I don't really think it's going to snow. It's not supposed to snow. And we woke up with, I kid you not, at least a foot of snow. And we had to go down.
Foot of snow?
Yes, a ton of snow. We will have to get Dad on here at some point to corroborate the story because it's true.
And this is the weather hooju that you're going to be bringing down this year.
Yes.
This is the plan.
Now, again, the odds, it was cold that year at least. So the odds are stacked against me. But, I mean, the whole point is believing in the power of positive thought. And I think I can do this.
Charlotte, that positive thought is all a nice thought and everything. But I would hate myself if I didn't ask. Is there some sort of dance involved?
No. You'll be very happy to know I will not dance to make it snow. Maybe it will fail because of that, but I have never danced to make it snow.
A snow dance.
Once I made it stop snowing because I was shoveling the pond and it kept on snowing and I was so upset and I looked up to the heavens and I went, please stop with the snow. And I remember it being instantaneous, but I'm sure it wasn't, that it slowly stopped and then all of a sudden the snow stopped and I remember I shed a tear because I thought I was one with the universe that day.
Are you sure this isn't a book you read sometime?
Yeah.
I think
very special up inside my head, I'll tell you.
The tear is pushing this beyond believability.
No, it's true.
But knowing you as I do, I could see the tear happening.
To be perfectly honest, I think it had been shortly after Grandpa had died, and I remember thinking that Grandpa had done it for us.
Oh, this was that long ago. Oh my god.
The stopping snowing was that long ago.
Right.
The making it snow was more recent. But I had confidence that I'd be able to make it snow because of the day that me and Grandpa had made it stop snowing.
Well, that's nice.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought, oh, thanks, Grandpa. Yeah.
That legitimizes that story somewhat.
Thank you. I should have started with that.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, that brings up a good point. So I saw this kind of hilarious picture someone tweeted on Twitter. And there were two houses side by side. And the one house was completely decked out in Christmas decorations and that kind of thing, like insanely decked out.
Right.
And the house beside it had the word spelt out in lights with an arrow pointing at the other house. And I forget the name who tweeted this, but they said, yeah, I guess it's a little bit bah humbug, but this is still funny. And it was funny. But that reminds me of a house in St. Catharines that always went absolutely insane, like crazy, with their Christmas lights and Christmas decorations. And friends told me that the woman that had lived there loved Christmas and had died of cancer. And every year her husband did up the house in her memory.
That's nice.
And so
that's a great way to preserve
every
a
time
memory
you
right there.
think and you're about to shake your head at a house with a bunch of Christmas lights, you think this might be for someone that just truly loved Christmas and who can't be here to celebrate Christmas anymore. And that'll snap the bah humbug right out of you.
I like it.
Right?
That's a good Christmas value to leave our listeners with. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Don't be judgmental.
And I mean, I'm not saying I never get judgy. I do. And that's why you have to take a second to pause before you put your foot in your mouth and say something stupid.
This isn't going to be one of those podcasts, by the way. We're not going to try and end on something profound.
No. We'll probably end on something judgy more often than not.
That's the more likely possibility.
Poker!
We got the guy just stoking the fire.
His hand's a little more into it this time. And once again, that looks like a man hand.
Is he wearing a glove or is it just a dark hand?
I think that's his hand.
It is his hand. Never mind. I would say that's definitely a man hand. Why I could tell you that, I have no idea.
I wonder if he's going to put a new log on soon. Seems like it's got to be almost time.
This video is...
Wow.
Oh, gosh. 3 hours long? Oh, yeah. He's got logs. He's got logs for days.
Yeah.
Well, for 3 hours anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's as good as a time as any to bid you all adieu.
Wrap up.
For this episode number 1 of the Great Canadian Podcast. For all your feedback, compliments, which I imagine you've already concocted several in your head right now.
We like compliments.
You can get a hold of us. greatcanadianpod@gmail.com.
And guys, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to Numero Uno.
If you like it, and really, if there's things you want to hear us talk about, we got ideas. Let's hear your ideas. Your ideas are probably better than our ideas.
Yeah.
Look at what we came up with today.
Yeah, I would think so.
Let's just talk about ourselves. We're really self-centered.
Tell us how wrong we are about music and who's writing what and what parts of Canada and whatever. Let's start a discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy holidays, guys.
Merry Christmas.
It's the Great Canadian Podcast with Dave and Charlotte.